Hey guys, it's Leanne. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is just literally me trying some new makeup products. To be honest, most of them are from ELF, and I think there's literally one of the products from one of the brand, I think. But yeah, most of it's ELF really. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, then obviously keep on watching. This is the look that I've done today. So I do share some tips, tricks and techniques, so obviously stick around for that, as well as the product review. But yeah, as always, before we jump in, don't forget to like the video if you do like it, which hopefully you do. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave me a comment on your thoughts on this collection, the Cookies and Dreams collection, and the other ELF products mentioned, and the concealer. Let me know what you think. And let's just get to it. So for foundation today, I'm going to be going in with the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. So my shade is the shade Stromboli, and this is literally my favourite foundation from NARS ever. To apply this foundation, I'm going to be going in with the new ELF sponge. So it's the ELF Angled Silicone Face Sponge. Got like a round edge there, and then like a flat edge, and then another flat edge. And then underneath, this is dipped in silicone, which is, according to ELF on the back of this packaging, good for foundation. That's what they intends the silicone part to be used for. So I'm going to blend the foundation in with this today, and then use the other side of the sponge to do like powder, because on the back of this sponge it says it's latex free, and no matter the formula, liquid, cream, powder, this latex free sponge does it all. Angled sides highlight, contour, conceal and blends. It even has a base dipped in silicone for foundation. So as I said, that's what I'm using it for today. The sponge stays cleaner and the formula is better distributed for a flawless finish. I am excited though, because I haven't actually seen another sponge like this. I have in terms of shape. I feel like it's similar to the Fenty Beauty sponge, but the silicone part, the silicone dip part, I haven't actually seen that on another sponge. So yeah, I'm not going to use any brushes today to pat in the foundation as I normally would. I'm just literally going to stick to this ELF sponge. Now I know that that does look a little bit dark, by the way, but it always just seems to blend, doesn't look too orangey. That feels quite soft on the skin, even though this part is hard. It's not as spongy as the rest of the sponge. It actually still feels quite nice on the face really. I am tempted to use the other side of the sponge though to actually blend in the foundation as well, as that's just what I'm used to, the more softer side of the sponge. But I'm going to just try and get the majority of it blended with the silicone dip part. Oh my god, that looks so crazy. Blend, I promise this actually is my shade. Obviously not my true to skin shade, obviously look at my neck to my face, but it actually is my shade that I normally wear for nights out, and obviously once I'm bronzed and I've added contour, it all matches. Okay, so this silicone dip part, the shape of it is not good for getting underneath the nose, nostrils here. As you can see, it's quite red there. So that's one little fault up to now. So as you can see, it's not looking half as scary now as it was before, but yeah, definitely needs a little bit more down the neck. So up to now, the silicone bit has done a good job of evenly distributing the foundation, as it says on the packaging, but I am actually going over with the spongy side of the sponge, just to make sure that everything's airbrushed and to really get into the little nooks and crannies like around the nostrils, like I pointed out before. So as you can probably tell from before, I've just went off camera and done this eyebrow, and I've actually used the ELF Bite Size Brow Palette, and I've picked up the shade Dark Brown. So this was new for me personally. I've not actually tried this before. These two shades here on the right, these are like cream, the tacky when you apply them, and then these two are powders. I've not really used a product like this before, literally just winging it at this point, but I just used a bit of common sense and assumed that you would just use the cream products first and then powder over the brow. So I'm just going in with a little small angled brush, and I'm just going to use this cream product as if I were using a pencil, just doing it the way I would normally do it, and it blends quite easy. It's easy to drag along the brow, and then I'm just literally following the direction of my own natural brow hairs, and then I'm just going to use the spoolie end of this little brush to brush the cream product through the brow. when it comes to this point of the brow, I angle the brush upwards and just flick up, because that will imitate natural brow hair strokes. I think this product as well, it feels like, anyway, I'm not like sure if that's like the purpose of this, but this product kind of feels like it holds the brow in place. So when I'm brushing up, I feel like the brows are going to stay that way because the cream product feels quite tacky. So I'm going to take another angled brow brush now. So this is the Zoeva 317 wing liner brush, but I'm obviously using it for my eyebrows. So I'm just going to dip into the lighter brown and just brush it through very gently everywhere that I've just put the cream product. I'm going to take the same spoolie and just brush the brow powder through the hairs, and that should just probably set the brow, I'm assuming, and make it look a little bit more natural. Bear in mind, this is literally my first time using this product, or from e.l.f., but even just this type of product. I normally never use brow powders and brow creams ever. I'm normally just like a pencil or brow pomade actually sometimes, but it's mostly pencil for me, the simplest thing ever. But I actually do quite like how natural it looks. Not natural in terms of how big the brows are, but it kind of just looks more realistic sometimes than a very sleek brow. So yeah, I feel like by brushing the powder through, it just makes it look a little bit more realistic, if that makes sense. Today we're going to be trying a new concealer. So this concealer is from Rimmel and it's called the Multitasker Concealer. And I've picked up the shade 30 Light. So I'm going to go back in with the e.l.f. sponge and I'm going to try and blend away, not using the silicone dipped end, which is absolutely rotten now. I'm just going to try and blend away using more this end, the rounded end. I do like a point for the under eye though, and this is like squared off, so I do normally like a point, as you can get right into the inner corner. Okay, so that concealer's blended away really nicely, and it's definitely bright in the under eye, as you can see. And so far there's no creasing in the under eye, which is good because I haven't set it yet. Okay, so this sponge, it is really good at blending away concealer, but I just don't like that it doesn't have a point. So I feel like this is going to be perfect for actually applying powder to the under eye, but when you really need to press concealer in, I feel like a pointed tip is much better. But it has done the job really, so I'm not complaining too much. It might just be because I don't normally use this type of sponge to apply concealer that I'm like finding it a bit strange. It might just take a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, so this sponge is actually blending the concealer away really nicely, and the concealer as well, it doesn't dry down straight away, so it's not super matte and hard to blend. It literally is like quite movable really, which is a good thing. So you could just leave it on the face, like as I'm doing now on the under eye, which by doing that you'll actually add a little bit more full coverage by allowing a concealer to dry down a little bit on the face. First you'll actually add some coverage, which I clearly need on the under eyes. Excuse my concentration face. So that pointed tip is actually ideal for pressing concealer into the little start of the brow bone and the nose here, where the brow bone and the nose meet. It's actually ideal for getting in there. So I'm going to set the under eye using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and my shade is Pound Cake. And what I like to do is just dip the sponge in and then take off any excess just on the back of my wrist, as that way I find that actually prevents creasing, because you're not just overloading the eye straight away with too much product. You're literally just setting the concealer into place first, and then you can go back and bake. Okay, so honestly I'm not loving that to get right under the under eye. It should be good in theory, but for some reason I think it's just a little bit too big for the under eye. I think it's a little bit like too wide or whatever. So yeah, it's not the best for the under eye, to be honest. And this concealer up to now has not creased, which is literally so good because I've been talking and actually moving the under eye quite a bit. I really do like this concealer. It's a very good formula, and it is quite a good coverage. I don't know about full coverage. I don't think I would say full coverage, but I don't think I've ever said that about any under eye concealer really. So I'm just going to go in and bake both under eyes, because I'm going to do the eyeshadow now. I'm going to do one eye off camera as I don't really know what look I'm going for. This is just going to be a soft glam, by the way, on the eyes, because the other day I've actually done a review of the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams collection, which is up now, and I'll leave the link in the description bar. But for today's look, I did want to use the Cookies and Dreams palette, but I wanted to use the more naturally colours. The other day I went like really bold and bright. I used the brightest blue in the palette. But yeah, today I'm going to be sticking more to like the browns and nudes. So I've just done this eye off camera, give you a closer look. And it's just obviously a very natural look, very smoky, blown out look. But that was obviously what I wanted to go for today. And I'm going in with the small bullet brush from the Cookies and Dreams brush collection. And then I'm just taking the darkest brown, just packing that shadow down first, rather than blending straight away. I'm just literally packing the shadow down, making sure there's a good, like, you know, amount on there. And then I always take it to above my own natural crease, so that when I look forward, you can actually still see the shadow. So right now you can't, the shadow's getting hidden, but I'm about to take it just above my own natural crease, so that when I open my eye, you can actually see the shadow now. So yeah, I'm just literally now packing the product on, and then I'm just going to go in a circular motion backwards and forwards, just to get any harsh edges away. Next I'm going in with the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams fluffy brush. So that's this one. I think this is my favourite brush from the collection. And I'm going to go in with the light camel shade, and then just literally trace over using windscreen wiper motions and circular motions. Just trace over where I've placed this dark brown shadow. And then I'm going to go back in, get a little bit more of that same shade. This palette doesn't have shade names on the back, by the way, so I can literally only describe them by the colours. It would be good if they actually did have shade names, but not to worry, it's not like a deal breaker. So I'm just gently blending that backwards and forwards, tracing over the edges, as you can see, using circular motions. And then I'm going to go in again, same colour, and just blend this straight up to the brow bone. Blending is all about patience, by the way. Even if you blend in and you think it's not, like, you know, blending away, it will be, but it's just a process, and you have to just keep repeating the same steps over and over, which can get super annoying. But yeah, it's just like, you just have to be patient with it, and don't go rough, just go as gentle as you can. You should almost feel like you're literally tickling the eye with a brush, as that will give you the most soft blown out effect. One thing I actually do need to do is set under the eye with some baking powder, and that's because any eyeshadow that does fall down will not fall onto my lovely flawless makeup. The powder will just catch it. So now I'm going to be picking up the Morphe M518 brush. I'm going to go in with the white shade. And again, I'm just tracing that right over the colours I've already blended. I'm taking that right up to the brow bone, which will actually act as a brow bone highlight, which is always a flattering look. You always want underneath the brows to look sharp and carved out. These shadows are really good as well. They really like blend quite easily, but are quite pigmented as well, and they all match together perfectly. So yeah, I really do like this palette. So I'm going in now with the first bullet brush I used, and the first colour, the dark brown. And I'm just packing that shadow on again, just because obviously when you blend, sometimes you do blend away some of the colours. So, and then I'm going back in with the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams brush and the same camel shade. Remember what I said before about how repetitive blending is? Well, yeah, here we are. Okay, so the next brush I'm going in with is a Morphe and Jeffree Star JS11 brush. So that's just a compact brush, and I'm taking the camel shade again, and I'm just pressing this onto the inner corner of the eyelid. Just pressing it directly on top of the other colours. So you can see I've blended some of the deep brown onto the inner corner, but I'm just literally going on top of this with this camel shade. And then with the same brush, I'm just going to go in with the white shade now. And adding the white over it just changes it from like a warm tone to more of a cool tone look. Okay, so back in again, the first brush and the first colour, and I'm just going to deepen up the outer crease and then blend over with the fluffy brush. So just using windscreen wiper motions and circular motions just to blend, blend, blend. A little bit of the camel shade, tap off the excess, and then just place that right up to the brow bone, just blend that right up to the brow bone. So for the waterline, I actually used a Morphe colour pencil. So this is new to me. I'm not sure if it's actually a new product, but I'm just going to mention it anyway because I really do like it. This is the Morphe colour pencil in the shade Extra, and I wanted to try it out, and it really is a true navy blue colour pencil, which I think is so hard to find. Like, I have actually looked before in the past, and I can only ever get those like these type of blues, like the metallic-y ones, more like a cobalt blue, whereas actually this one is more like a navy blue, almost looks black, but yeah, it is navy blue, as you can hopefully see. And then what I'm going to do is go on top with this shadow. So I'm going to be taking a 322 brow line brush from Zoeva and just smudging that along the waterline, really making sure that I get into the inner corner as well. And then to smoke out the waterline so it looks more like this one, I'm going to go in with a Morphe M332 brush. It's just like a pencil slash bullet brush. And I'm going to take the darkest brown, tap off excess and just run it underneath. And by doing like the same shadow on the waterline as you've done on the top, it just blends the look together and pulls it all in. I'm just going to trace the same brown shade just across the top lash line. And then I'm just going to take that navy blue and just place it in the inner corner and just take the little elf brush. So this is the elf Cookies and Dreams brush, and just drag that so that it blends into the other eyeshadow colours. And then that way, because these lashes are only half lashes really, I've actually cut them so they're just literally, they don't really go right from the inner corner right to the outer corner, they're more like a half lash. That way, by adding a little colour in the inner corner, it will just blend the lash band, as you can see here. Like, you can't actually tell where the false lashes start, it just blends in because I've added this little bit of colour here. Okay, so I'm going to go in now with this shadow from the palette. It's a bit of a shimmery shadow, and I'm going to use that as just under the brow highlight, and I just literally want to keep that on the arch. I don't want to drag it the whole way underneath the brow. I literally just want to highlight the arch of the brow. It's not a blinding inner corner highlight though, and I'm not saying it's meant to be used as that, but if you do try and use it as inner corner highlight, it's not the brightest, basically. I'm going to try actually spraying this brush to see if that intensifies the eyeshadow. So to spray the brush, I might as well actually use the e.l.f. Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Setting Mist. Not really. Doesn't really help that, which is unusual, because normally a setting mist or even just a little spritz of water normally does intensify the pigment of eyeshadows, but doesn't seem to be with this one. But anyway, it is a natural glam soft look, so it's probably for the best that it's not too intense really. So I'm just going to spray the face now with this spray and give you my review. Just off that first spray, it doesn't really have a smell, and if it does, it's more like a, I don't know if anyone can recall the smell of like the MAC Cosmetics Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, that type of rubbery type of smell. I kind of feel the same about that one, but technically it's got no smell. It's not like a fruit smell or whatever, it's just a smell, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Okay, so this is the finished and completed look, and I'm actually really impressed with the eyeshadow. I think it looks so much more expensive than it actually is. Like, you could not tell if this is not a drugstore product. This is the concealer, love it. I think it really has done a dead good job of brightening the under eye and making the rest of the skin look flawless. Like I explained in the video, there was so many good things about the formula, how it doesn't crease, how it's blendable, and it doesn't dry straight away. So I would definitely recommend the concealer, the multitasker concealer from Rimmel. I'd definitely recommend that. And the e.l.f. brush set, I used that in the video today. I think I used all 3 brushes, so you got to see those in action. I'll let you make up your own mind about them. But if you are interested in my honest and real opinion on these brushes, then I'm going to leave the link in the description bar for my e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams video. e.l.f. Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Setting Mist. I don't think I explained this in the video at all. I think I just sprayed it and that was it. But this Blue Light Micro Setting Mist, apparently blue light, this is literally just off Google, by the way, so don't like quote me on it, but yeah, apparently blue light is like, you know, off your phone or the TV, and this apparently protects from that, so that's always a good thing, especially in today's generation. Yeah, I weren't so keen on the smell, but it didn't like put me off or anything. And I forgot to mention that the actual way that it sprays out is actually so fine. It really is a fine mist. It's not chunky or anything like that, like too much doesn't come out. It's a perfectly even spray. It dried in pretty quick as well. When I was fanning it with my little piece of paper, it dried down really quick, and I don't think it changed the makeup. Like, I don't know if anyone's tried the Morphe glowy setting spray, but when I use that oh my god, like on a flawless makeup it looks amazing, and then I use that and it just looks a bit greasy. It's just too dewy for me. But yeah, this one, the e.l.f. one, did not change like the actual texture of the makeup. It still looks like a half matte, half dewy look. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that, and I probably would recommend it, but I don't think it's an absolute must-have. It's really not. But I am going to try that out a few more times before giving that opinion. This is just my opinion off one try, and I do like it, so yeah. But yeah, moving on to another e.l.f. product, the Bite Size Brow Palette. I do actually like this, and for the price, you just can never ever complain with the price of e.l.f. e.l.f.'s vegan and cruelty free as well, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that. It is a really good product, and it's just a bit weird for me because I don't normally do my brows like that, but I think I do like the powdered look. I actually do like the powdered brow look. I think it looks more natural, as I explained in the video, so I'll definitely be using that again, and I would recommend it for anyone who just wants an inexpensive brow powder or brow pomade / cream. Yeah, I would actually recommend it, and I do think what I said in the video is true. The cream product actually kind of helps the brow to stay up and be held in place. The e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams eyeshadow palette. So it is quite a versatile palette, even though the colours are mainly like blue and cream and brown as well actually. It is actually a versatile palette, like you can do a lot of different looks with this. So like I said, in the first video I've done a dramatic look, whereas in this video I've done something so natural and so subtle, but yeah, you can still get the waterline, like how bright it is from using this. So you really can mix it up, and I would recommend this palette. I did say in the other video that I probably won't reach for this again, only because I have so much makeup. But I am actually glad that I've used it again today, just to show how versatile it is. The Morphe pencil, I think you know my thoughts on this. I loved it, absolutely loved it. I think it's just literally the perfect navy blue pencil that I've been looking for so many years. So yeah, I would recommend that. So last but not least, the e.l.f. Angled Silicone Face Sponge. So I did like this in the video. It's definitely going to take a little bit of getting used to for sure, but if you actually look at the skin, I didn't use a brush. I literally just dabbed foundation on my fingers and then went over with this, and I've literally used it for liquid and powder, and it is a mess now, but it's done a good job of applying the powder under the eye. Looks flawless, and it's done a good job of applying the foundation. I'm quite happy with how the skin looks. The silicone part was quite soft on the skin. As I said, it's definitely a useful feature. The only complaint was like that I think it should have had a point on. That's my only thing, but I do think I'd probably not use this for the under eye again. It's probably just ideal for carving out under the contour, down the centre of the nose. It's definitely got its uses. Maybe here when you put powder here and like give the eye, you know, like a lift with concealer, like a cat eye effect, it's perfect for that. But as for the inner corner, I don't think it's like my favourite, but I would still recommend it. It's definitely worth having in your kit because it's so versatile. Like you've got your foundation this end, you've got a rounded end here, which is perfect for just, you know, tapping over the foundation or even applying cream blush, and then this end is sharpened off so you can bake with it, and even this side you could literally dip that into powder and use it like that to bake. So yeah, I definitely would recommend it. It was actually a really positive video. There's not one new product that I've tried that I wouldn't recommend. So I think that's a first anyway. I think that's like, I don't think that's ever happened before. Most new products, there's always one where you think, oh, don't like that or whatever, but actually everything I've tried today I would wholeheartedly recommend it. So yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm going to wrap the tutorial up now, but I always sign off with, you know, please don't forget to like the video if you did like it. Don't forget to subscribe because this channel is all about makeup giveaways, makeup reviews, tutorials. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching and sticking around to the very end. I really do appreciate it. And then just as a little small thank you, I've actually doing a little small mini giveaway. So I've literally got two brushes that are only from Primark. So the PS Shading Eye Brush and the PS Blending Eye Brush. So those two brushes, that one is a dual brush, got two. Yeah, those two brushes, and then there's two W7 lipsticks, two nude lipsticks. One's in the shade Latte and one's in the shade Vanilla. So they're both very similar. But yeah, this is a UK only giveaway. It's obviously so small. The packaging for me to send it internationally would just be so like ridiculous. Just leave me a little comment in the comment section and let me know you stuck around to the end, which I'll know that you did if obviously you've seen the giveaway. And yeah, I'll just pick randomly from the comment section, but obviously you must be from the UK, so if that's something you want to win, then get commenting. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.